Let's dive into the epic evolution of Doom, a franchise that started with pixelated carnage in 1993 and has evolved into the ultimate demon-slaying experience. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more epic, guess what? Get ready, because Doom: The Dark Ages, launching in 2025, is here to prove that the only thing more terrifying than demons is how much more legendary this series can get. It's time to crank up that Doom music, because this is the evolution of Doom. Let's wind the clock back to 1993, a time when the internet was dial-up, and your mom was probably yelling at you to get off the computer, because she needed to make a phone call. Doom blasted onto the scene, developed by the mad geniuses at id Software for MS-DOS. In this glorious digital bloodbath, you played as a space marine, affectionately known as Doom Guy. Your mission? Simple. Armed with nothing but pure testosterone and a desire to turn demons into pixelated soup, you blast through 9 levels of absolute carnage. Surprisingly, the first version of Doom was handed out for free because, the best things in life are free. Stores got to keep all the profits, ensuring Doom didn't get booted off the shelves for its glorious, gore-filled content. And wouldn't you know it, people went wild for it. 15 to 20 million players in just 2 years. That's not just a success, that's a cultural phenomenon with a shotgun and no mercy. Doom didn't just break the mold, it smashed it. Shot it with a BFG, and then teabagged the remains. 2 years later, id Software decided to cash in on the blood-soaked chaos, selling the full game via mail order. Yep, back in the day, people actually bought games through the mail. It was like Amazon, but slower and with a lot more stamps. Then, because id Software knew they had gold on their hands, they dropped the Ultimate Doom, an updated version that added another episode and cranked the difficulty up to, holy crap, why is this so hard? Fun fact, the original name of the game was supposed to be Attack of the Attackers. Thankfully, someone at id Software realized that was a terrible idea, and they switched it up to Doom, which is way cooler. Programmer John Carmack later revealed that the name was inspired by a scene from the movie The Color of Money. So, in a way, we have Tom Cruise to thank for the name of one of the most iconic games of all time. Weird, right?
Doom.
Now, let's get serious for a second. Doom wasn't just another game. It was a game changer. It basically invented the first-person shooter genre, inspiring every FPS that came after. The game was so beloved that it got ported to pretty much every console ever made. They'd put this thing on a toaster if they could. Hell, 26 years later, in 2019, it was re-released on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch because gamers just couldn't get enough ripping and tearing through demons. If that's not slaying power, I don't know what is. But with great power comes great controversy. Doom was notorious for its graphic violence and satanic imagery. This wasn't a game where you saved the princess. This was a game where you splattered demons across the screen and didn't even blink. It was one of the first games to get slapped with an M for mature rating by the ESRB. And some critics went as far as to call it a mass murder simulator. Yikes. Things got even darker in 1999 when it was revealed that Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the shooters of the Columbine High School massacre, were big fans of the game. Harris even wrote in his journal that killing would be like playing Doom, and that his shotgun was straight out of the game. This led to Doom being launched into the national spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Despite the controversy, or maybe because of it, Doom became a massive success. An estimated 3 million physical copies of the game were sold in its first 6 years. It racked up awards left and right, including first place for the top 50 games of all time by GameSpy. Fun fact, the early weapon designs in Doom were inspired by children's toys. The team was so broke that instead of using real guns as models, they went to Toys R Us and grabbed some Nerf guns. And yet, they still managed to create the most badass arsenal in gaming history. If that's not the ultimate underdog story, I don't know what is. In 1994, id Software unleashed Doom 2, Hell on Earth, a sequel that took everything from Doom and said, let's make it even crazier. Twice the monsters, bigger levels, and original bosses, now roaming like regular enemies. The star of the show? The Super Shotgun, a double-barreled beast that turns demons into jelly. Multiplayer got a major upgrade too. Now you could dial into your buddy's computer and either team up or go full-on deathmatch. Add 2 expansion packs, and you've got more demon carnage than you can shake a chainsaw at. Sure, it didn't quite outshine the original, but Doom 2 still sold 1.8 million copies, proving that more demons and bigger guns are always a winning formula. In 1996, id Software unleashed Final Doom on MS-DOS, Macintosh, and PlayStation. It's Doom 2's evil twin. Same weapons, same monsters, but now with a difficulty that'll make you want to smash your keyboard. It's like they doubled the difficulty and said, good luck, sucker. The game features 2 new plots with fresh levels, graphics, and music. But don't be fooled, this isn't a walk in the park, it's a run through hell. Critics weren't kind either. GameSpot's Jim Varner even said, treat this game like a baron of hell. Stay very far away from it. In 1997, Nintendo decided it was time to take a break from all that colorful Super Mario joy and to jump into something a bit darker. Doom 64. This sequel to Doom 2 landed exclusively on the Nintendo 64, bringing demon-slaying action to a console usually known for mustached plumbers and princess-saving adventures. It stayed locked to the console until Doom Eternal rolled around 23 years later. Then it was re-released for everyone who pre-ordered the game. So now PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch players could all get in on the action. Doom 64 kept the core gameplay intact, but threw in a few tweaks, like the chainsaw with 2 blades. Because why settle for one when you can have 2? Doom 64 was by far the best-looking Doom game at the time, even surpassing the PC versions. But despite the visual upgrades, some people felt it was just another Doom port with a fresh coat of paint. Fun fact, Doom was almost a story-driven game with 5 different playable characters, each with their own backstories and abilities, as laid out in the Doom Bible. But John Carmack shut that down real quick, saying, the story in a game is like the story in a porn movie. It's expected to be there, but it's not that important. Tell that to games like The Last of Us. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Listen to me. When the time comes, you gotta run and don't look back.
And The Witcher 3, where the story is half of the reason we keep coming back.
Elder blood flows in Ciri's veins. Which is why the Wild Hunt wants to capture her.
Let's take a wild ride back to 2004, when Doom 3 burst onto the scene like a demon crashing through your living room wall. They decided that regular Doom wasn't terrifying enough, so they turned off the lights, cranked up the horror, and called it a day. Doom 3 wasn't just about mowing down Hellspawn anymore. They actually tossed in a story this time, making it the video game equivalent of a campfire tale gone horribly wrong. And of course, you had your trusty arsenal of 10 weapons to help you survive the demonic onslaught. Every demon had its own unique way of messing with you, so you had to stay on your toes, if you hadn't already jumped out of your seat in terror by the 3rd level. Doom 3 didn't just trap you in a dark, demon-filled corridor. It threw in multiplayer modes so you and your buddies could kill each other in death matches and argue over who's the bigger noob. They also cranked up the graphics with some next-gen tech that made everything look so real you could almost smell the demon breath. The game went on to sell over 3.5 million copies, making it the most successful Doom title to date. But they weren't done torturing us. In 2005, they dropped Resurrection of Evil, An expansion pack with a new 12-level campaign, fresh demons ready to ruin your day, and 3 new weapons to help you survive the madness. They even upped the multiplayer chaos, letting 8 players go at it instead of 4. In 2012, Doom 3 got the remaster treatment with the BFG edition for Windows, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. This version enhanced the graphics, sounds, and horror effects to the next level. In 2016, the gaming world got blessed with another Doom game, developed by id Software and published by Bethesda. Originally hyped up as Doom 4, they decided to ditch the number and just call it Doom. Because why complicate things when you can keep it metal and simple? Unlike Doom 3, which made you check your pulse every 5 minutes, this Doom went full speed ahead into the blood-soaked, demon-slaying chaos we all crave. It went full throttle into the realm of fast-paced, first-person shooter madness. You could double jump like you're in some demonic Olympics, wield a ridiculous arsenal of weapons without the need to reload, and my favorite part, gory kills. Nothing says I love you like ripping a demon's head off with your bare hands and getting a health boost for it. Originally released on Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, Doom made its way to the Nintendo Switch a year later, allowing even more players to dive into the action. The campaign itself is a meaty 13 hours of demon-slaying joy, with enough collectibles and secrets to make even the most hardcore completionists happy. And speaking of hardcore, there's the Ultra Nightmare difficulty. Die once, game over. Your save file goes straight to hell. Literally. Only the brave or the clinically insane faced this challenge. Multiplayer wasn't left out of the fun either. You could level up, unlock armor, skins, and weapons, and generally wreak havoc. Plus, with Snap Map, you could get your Bob the Builder on, if Bob built death traps for demons. Design your own levels, fill them with whatever nightmares you can dream up, and let the chaos unfold. Doom was a smash hit, beloved for its campaign, graphics, soundtrack, and the sheer speed at which you could mow down demons. Over 2 million copies sold, and I'm sure a lot of controllers met an early grave along the way. Fun fact, the absolute legend Mick Gordon composed the Doom soundtrack. The dude was told no guitars, and it's like Gordon said, "Hold my BFG," and delivered a soundtrack that rips harder than a chainsaw. Funnily enough, he even used a lawnmower for some of the tracks. Why not? And just to mess with us, he hid some cheeky Easter eggs like pentagrams and 666s in the music. He never expected anyone to notice, but let's be real. Doom fans are like bloodhounds. Next came Doom Eternal. This bad boy dropped in 2020 for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Like its older brother, this beast was cooked up by the mad scientists over at id Software and shoved into the world by Bethesda. It's a direct sequel to Doom 2016, so you already know what you're getting into. A symphony of violence and glory kills. You play as the Doomslayer, the angriest guy in the universe, who's had it up to here with hell's nonsense. Doom Eternal takes the push-forward combat from the last game and dials it up to 11. But it's not just more of the same. They've thrown in a bunch of new features, including a wider variety of weapons and combat mechanics that make it feel fresh and brutal. By 2020, the game made its way to the Nintendo Switch, so you can bring your demon-slaying habit on the go. And by 2021, it got an upgrade for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, making the visuals so crisp you can see the terror in a demon's eyes as you introduce it to your chainsaw. You can even blast Hell's Finest at 4K resolution and 60 frames per second, which is just overkill in the best way possible. The game didn't stop there. It brought in 2 DLCs, The Ancient Gods Part 1 and 2, where you get to continue your one-man war against Hell. Critics couldn't get enough of it, handing Doom Eternal a very impressive 88 on Metacritic. Game Revolution even crowned it one of the best first-person shooters ever. The campaign, the graphics, the combat, they all got high praise. Some people didn't love the focus on storytelling and lore, but let's be real. Nobody's here for a bedtime story. You're here to rip and tear. Oh, and the soundtrack? It's a heavy metal masterpiece.
We work to resurrect the only ones who can save this world.
As for sales, the exact numbers are a mystery, but around 5.8 million copies sold is a rough estimate. And with over $450 million made in under a year, it's safe to say Doom Eternal was more than just a hit. It was a massacre. Fun fact, Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing New Horizons dropped on the exact same day, March 20th, 2020. This unholy coincidence led to some of the most adorable and brutal crossover fan art you'll ever see. Doom Guy and Isabel, the dream team we never saw coming. In 2023, Doom tried its hand at mobile gaming with Mighty Doom, bringing the Mini Slayer to life in an animated top-down shooter. But instead of packing a punch, it delivered more of a gentle nudge. Just a year later, the app is no longer available for download. Fun fact, back in 2020, Microsoft decided to casually drop $7.5 billion and bought Bethesda's parent company, ZeniMax Media. Suddenly, the gaming world collectively held its breath. Were we about to see Doom become an Xbox exclusive? Phil Spencer, bless his soul, said no. This beast belongs to everyone. Before we continue to the last Doom, I've got some big news. We launched a brand new channel called Animated Wisdom. This channel is all about animated book summaries, focused on personal growth and success. It's like upgrading from a pistol to a BFG for your brain. If you want to level up your life faster than Doom Guy in God mode, this is the place to be. The first animated summaries are already live, packed with so much wisdom that your brain might start speedrunning success. So hit the link in the description, and let's get back to obliterating some demons. Ladies and gentlemen, demon slayers of all ages. Just when you thought the universe had peaked in testosterone, id Software comes storming back in with Doom: The Dark Ages, coming in 2025 for Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. And sweet mother of hellfire, it looks more metal than your favorite band's album cover. This game is officially the 8th main Doom entry and the 3rd in the modern reboot series, going back to where it all began. Prequel, baby. Set in a dark, twisted version of the Middle Ages, this game takes us to an earlier time in the life of the Doom Slayer. Think Doom meets Game of Thrones, but instead of White Walkers, we've got pure, unfiltered carnage. Demons, zombie skulls as ammo, shields with chainsaws, and yes, we even get to ride dragons. It's like Doomslayer is saying winter is coming. More like hell is coming, and it's riding a dragon with a chainsaw shield. Imagine hopping in a time machine, going back to 1993 and showing this to a gamer, telling them this is what Doom will evolve into. They'd probably die on the spot, only to wake up in hell, just in time to see Doom Guy coming for them. It's faster, bloodier, and more intense than ever. And honestly, it's not slowing down anytime soon. And let's be real, we wouldn't want it any other way. Finally, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all your support over the years. I couldn't do any of this without you. Let me know in the comments which Evolution video you want to see next. And I'll be waiting for you at my new channel, Animated Wisdom. Don't make me send Doom Guy to fetch you.